Welcome back. It's a dance company that has a little cash, but a whole lot of sass. That's how master choreographer Sonia Destri describes Comphania Urbana de Danca, the dance company she founded in Rio de Janeiro. Destri is an internationally renowned, classically trained dancer and choreographer who spent 35 years in and out of Brazil, establishing dance companies around the world. More than a decade ago, she settled in Rio and created the company of her dreams. She took dancers from the slums and formed a hip-hop troupe that transforms the rhythm of daily life into stage performances. The group recently performed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. for the Hip Hop Culture Worldwide Festival, and two of its principal dancers took a break from rehearsals to have a conversation with us. Tiago Sosa and Rafael Roussier Felipe, thank you for joining us. Let me start by asking each of you how you first got into dancing.
Então, foi na verdade copiando da TV, né? A gente via as coisas na TV.
You know, it was actually copying what I saw on TV. I'd watch people dancing on TV and became enamored.
Eu era bem pequenininho, eu já me mexo bastante desde pequeno, na verdade.
It's been moving since I was a little kid, but as I grew up and began to form my identity, I'd watch music videos and tape them so I could learn these choreographies.
O pessoal dançando, os cantores na TV e comecei.
I ended up knowing how to dance like a bunch of people on videos.
E aí eu sabia coreografia de tudo que era grupo, tudo que era cantor.
You both dance hip-hop, a dance that originated in block parties in New York back in the 70s. Would you characterize your style of dancing like that of a block party?
A gente pode dizer que sim. Na pista, a gente criou na pista, a Sônia criou na pista baseado nas festas de rua.
Yes, we could say that. Our choreographer Sonia has created a show based on street parties, but also based on our experiences, on the experiences of each of the dancers.
Seja festa até nas igrejas ou nos grupos, nas casas, enfim. A gente criou na pista bem em cima disso mesmo, das dance clubs e tudo mais.
So, be it house parties, club parties, church parties, disco parties, we've added wardrobes that are more colorful and lighting that's a little more disco to evoke something more old school. We've taken things from that.
As festas antigas, as discotecas antigas, sabe? As disco clubs. Então a gente vem pegando um pouco em cima disso, sabe?
Is life in the favela different today than it was when you were children?
Olha, com certeza. Eu que sou nascido e criado em favela.
Oh, for sure. I was born and raised in the slum, and today I'm not there anymore. But let's call them the owners of the slum, the guys that traffic drugs, the thugs, the guys that sort of controlled the slum. They also kind of protected their community, protected its residents, you know?
Eles tinham algo de proteger a sua comunidade, proteger os moradores, sabe?
They didn't let other gangs or even the police go up in the hills. Or, you know, they didn't let neighbors quarrel, didn't allow theft. They really protected you. Nowadays, you see 10-year-old kids with guns in their hands. Or if some guy gets startled, he'll shoot you. Today, you go up to the favela and you are searched by the police, even when they know that's where you live. So it's really different.
Se o cara ficar assustado, ele te dá um tiro, você sobe, você é revistado pela polícia direto, mesmo eles sabendo que você mora ali.
And the whole pacification process, it's really very complicated. Some people who live in the slums say it's good to have a police presence there. Others say that it's not.
Algumas pessoas, as pessoas que moram na favela, algumas dizem que é bom ter a UPP lá e outras dizem que não é bom ter a UPP lá. Então fica esse impasse aí. E a gente está aqui agora dando entrevista e tem muita coisa acontecendo lá.
So there's an impasse. And while we're sitting here, there's a lot going on in Rio, you know? There are shootouts in slums that haven't been pacified, drug trafficking, or bandits who are in jail keeping connected to the outside world, calling their people on the outside to tell residents to arm themselves heavily because the police are going in. So yeah, there's this mini war happening in Rio, you know? It's pretty complicated.
Fortemente não deixar isso acontecer. Então tá rolando uma mini guerra lá no Rio, sabe? Então tá bem complicado.
What role does dancing play in affecting positive change in a place like a favela or a shanty town? Do you feel it even has a role at all?
Claro, eu acredito na dança, não só na dança como qualquer elemento de arte, como elemento transformador, né? A gente mesmo agora...
Of course I believe in dance, but not only dance, in any form of art as a transformative element. You know, Sonia is our educator, and she continues to shape us every day. She has her sayings, her writings, going into our heads and making us think, making us evolve. From here, we get to go on and be the transformation agents with our art. We get to pass this knowledge forward and try to change the world because art also transforms.
E tentar transformar o mundo, porque a arte transforma.
Let's talk about hip-hop. What is it like to be a dancer that's not classically trained in a company that oftentimes performs in great halls like the one you're in?
Preconceito é diário. Isso é normal, tá?
That prejudice is felt daily. It's common, almost normal. We don't see it as a normal thing, but it's normal that it happens. We are a hip-hop company and a contemporary dance company. But in the contemporary dance crowd, we are seen as hip-hop. In the hip-hop crowd, we're seen as contemporary. So it becomes hard.
Contemporâneo. Então fica essa coisa, assim, é bem difícil. As pessoas, a gente vem do hip hop, a gente aprendeu a dançar ou na rua ou em casa, em algum lugar que não tenha sido acadêmico, como balé.
We come from hip hop. We learn to dance either on the street or at home, and not academically like in ballet. But we blend hip hop with contemporary dance, so people don't think we're street enough. But the truth is, what we do is dance.
Eles ficam presos a essa coisa de ter que ser raiz e tudo mais. A gente é uma companhia de dança, seja ela hip hop ou contemporânea ou de balé. A gente faz dança.
We are not beholden to one style. So as we like to joke around here, if you have a prejudice against us, you're going to have two jobs, to have it and to stop having it. But yes, the prejudice exists.
Vai ser, isso, não tem, o preconceito ele existe assim.
You say it's a cultural movement. So what's hip-hop's role in race? Do you experience racism in Brazil because of the color of your skin?
Olha, eu acho que o racismo ele existe sim. Infelizmente, acho que sempre vai existir.
I think racism does exist. Unfortunately, I think it always will. And even more unfortunately, I think today's racism is just a little more veiled. Because it's fashionable not to be racist or to use politically correct terms like Afro-descendant, and nobody wants to be arrested for using the wrong terms. Nobody wants to suffer because of what they say or really think, so the racism is veiled.
A pessoa te olha, ela pensa, a pessoa comenta ali no mundo dela, mas ela não vai chegar para você e falar, ela não vai correr o risco de ser presa ou de sofrer represália.
Someone looks at you, thinks something, and even says something in their world. But they won't say things to your face. They won't suffer the consequences. It's hard stuff. But I do think racism still exists, that some people are still racist, and in the same manner that some are not racist, that love blacks, that have no problem with any race, which is how I believe it should be. But yeah, racism still exists and will continue to, in a more veiled manner, unfortunately.
Isso é mais velado, que ele vai sempre existir, infelizmente.
You two have overcome quite the odds to be here. So how do you go from growing up without any privilege, experiencing racial prejudice, to this prejudice you mentioned exists for the kind of dancing that you do, to becoming members of this international troupe? What is the formula for success?
E pegando a deixa do Rafael, se você não for ser visto,
That's
você
true.
se mostra.
And building on what Raphael said, if you're not being seen, show yourself. Figure it out. Chase it. That's how we started. In Rio, there are these dance festivals, so curators from many parts of the world came. And we'd find out where they were going to be, and we'd shoot a rehearsal, put it on DVD, borrow a theater, ask a friend who had a camera to shoot us, called someone in to help us with lights. We'd make a video believing we were really very good, and we were very bad.
Acreditando que a gente era muito bom, a gente era muito ruim, mas a gente se vendia legal como se fosse a melhor companhia do
But we'd sell ourselves if we were the best company in the world. And we'd get no. People would tell us they'd look at our video and not watch it, until they did, and that's when we got to go to France to dance. And today, here we are at the Kennedy Center. So sometimes you have to show yourself too. You have to chase it. It's a lot of work, serious hard work. But if you go after your dreams and work hard, you reach them.
vai atrás dos seus sonhos e trabalha seu sonho que você realiza.
Inspiring words indeed. Tiago and Rafael, thank you so much for being with us on this show.
Obrigado, o prazer foi
Thanks.
nosso.
It was our pleasure to be here on America's Now. Isn't it, Rafael?
É isso aí, a gente que agradece.
Yeah, for sure. Our
Obrigadão.
thanks to you.
E estamos aí.
The debut of Comphania Urbana in the U.S. has been ranked among the top 10 dance performances of the year by the New York Observer.